Hello to you all and welcome to my channel. I'm Mash and today I'll be discussing a movie that was on my Netflix watch list for a little while. It's a dark comedy about a dysfunctional family going through a divorce. Just what everyone wants to see and hear all the time. So yeah, of course, seeing the description of this movie, I probably buried this under my Netflix watchlist, but now I watched it and I liked it, and now you guys will understand why. It only took director Noah Baumbach to come out with a much more successful Netflix original film called A Marriage Story for me to watch this film. So yeah, consider me a bit of a bandwagoner to this man's work, but whatever. I have to say that by all accounts, this film is very different than A Marriage Story in many ways. In surface value, its premise may seem familiar, a movie about a married couple divorcing and the negative imprints it leaves on family and friends. But where A Marriage Story focuses more on a destructive couple from a morally gray standpoint, The Squid and the Whale takes a more personal glimpse at a toxic family, right at the point that they are bursting apart at the seams. I mean, it gets really messy and really bad for this family.
I'll sue you, Joan. You know I will. You had an affair for 4 years with that fucking shrink that ruined our marriage, and I can get the kids. I talk to Eddie Goodman, who works on these cases all the time, and I have an open and shut case.
Taking place in Brooklyn, 1986, acclaimed writers Bernard and Joan Berkman announced their separation to their kids, and from there things just get, super messy like most divorcing marriages do.
They fell on the floor.
Both kids find out the mother had a string of affairs, and it is readily apparent that Bernard is just not fit to be a single dad. He's emotionally absent, he's sharing a room with a student he has a crush on, and he's airing personal business that his kids just probably should not see and should not hear at all.
I regret sometimes I wasn't more of a free agent when I was younger. There was a woman who approached me at a party at George Plimpton's after my first book. She was very sexy. I could have gone home with her.
Why didn't you?
I was with your mother.
Oh, right, of course.
It stars Jeff Daniels and Laura Linney, and both are great at just being the absolute worst. In fact, the entire ensemble were perfect at being incredibly unperfect. Frank, the youngest, is temperamental, already drinking at the age of freaking 12. I mean, did CPS even exist back in 1986?
Wait, is Mom letting you drink soda?
Beer.
Since when do you drink beer?
Since recently.
And he just shows a lack of having a decent father figure in his life, as he seems more attached to his tennis instructor than his own dad. On the other hand, Walt, played by Oscar-nominated Jesse Eisenberg, is inheriting his father's worst qualities, including his emotionally cold tendencies and his total pretentiousness.
Oh, I read The Metamorphosis. You were right, it's great.
Oh?
Yeah, I mean, so bizarre. What do you think is happening at the end with the sister?
Oh, yeah, I think she's, it's ambiguous, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's gross when he turns into the bug, but I love how matter-of-fact everything is.
Yeah, it's very Kafkaesque.
Because it's written by Franz Kafka.
Right.
Of course, I won't go too far into the details, but I remember watching this movie surprised at how much I don't like any of these people. But after some consideration, that is perhaps what the point of this movie was. In an interview with IndieWire, where Noah Baumbach was asked if he was worried this movie would come off as unoriginal, he stated, "Yeah, two contrasting things kept me from writing this story. On the one hand, everyone deals with divorce. It's too universal. On the other hand, it's too specific to my family and won't resonate beyond that. Unconsciously, at some point, I just let go and thought, let's see what happens." So it seems that this movie is a personal reflection to his family and potentially himself when he was younger, which makes sense as to why he viewed this family to be so unlikable. Growing up is the big theme in this movie, and perhaps even growing over some people. I enjoyed this movie because it's raw and relatable. It is a dark comedy, but I was more fascinated with the characters, and perhaps who I disliked the most. I also have to add that if you love Wes Anderson, that you might want to watch it. Baumbach, at the time, already co-wrote The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou with Wes Anderson. Anderson not only produced this film, but got his favorite cinematographer, Robert Yauman, the man who helped Wes make gorgeous symmetrical shots, shoot the squid and the whale. Baumbach and Wes Anderson would later co-write The Fantastic Mr. Fox together. Overall, this movie was a success. Critics loved it. The movie was shot in 23 days on a $1.5 million budget, and the worldwide box office gross for this movie was $11 million, according to Box Office Mojo. So yeah, it might be underrated, but it certainly made its money. In 2006, The Squid and the Whale was nominated for an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay, but it lost to the movie Crash, which would later win Best Picture of the Year. So yeah, I guess that was a tough matchup. As successful as it may seem, I believe it deserves more praise for its acting, directing, and writing. I laughed at the funny bits, and I cringed when this film asked me to, and there's a lot of cringe-worthy scenes, I would definitely say. What else can I say? Watch this cinema gem, currently available on Netflix. And if anyone in the comments below has any underrated films that they want me to review, I would love to hear suggestions. And if you can, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much.